The aisle seat didn't get worse. The system did. Airlines redesigned boarding so aisle lovers lose bin space first, stand longer, and gate check more often, all while thinking they upgraded. Choosing a seat feels like a personal preference, but it isn't anymore. What looks like freedom is actually a funnel designed to rush you into decisions that cost comfort later. Boarding order, bin access, and even how long you stand are now engineered outcomes, not coincidences. If you pick fast, you play their game. If you pick informed, you quietly win. Before we continue, answer this honestly in the comments. When you book a flight, what do you choose first? Aisle, window, or price? And why? This video breaks down how seat design really works now and how to avoid the traps. Trap 9. The aisle seat is no longer the safe choice. For years, the aisle seat was considered the smartest option. Easy bathroom access, quicker exits, and the illusion of control. That logic no longer holds. Modern boarding strategies now load window seats first, then middle seats, and aisle seats last. By the time aisle passengers board, overhead bins are already packed by earlier groups. This forces aisle seat travelers into bad choices. Gate checking a bag you intended to keep with you, or stuffing it several rows away, guaranteeing delays during deplaning and increasing the chance of damage or loss. Airlines quietly shifted the risk without explaining it. The aisle still feels premium, but the cost is hidden. If your trip depends on overhead bin access, the window seat now provides earlier boarding and better storage odds. The aisle only makes sense if you are checking a bag or traveling extremely light. Comfort myths linger long after systems change, and this one catches frequent travelers off guard. Trap 8. Paying extra to avoid the middle seat. Airlines price seats based on emotion, not comfort. They know most passengers fear the middle seat more than delays, turbulence, or even legroom. That fear is monetized. Window and aisle seats are often priced higher, even though the physical space is identical. On flights that are not full, the middle seat is frequently left empty until the last minute. Experienced travelers sometimes book the middle seat intentionally, betting on load factors instead of emotions. When the plane departs with empty seats, the middle passenger ends up with more space than those who paid extra. Airlines dislike this outcome because it breaks the pricing psychology. That is why they encourage fear early in the booking process. This strategy works best on off-peak flights, midweek travel, and non-holiday routes. It is not guaranteed, but when it works, it feels like winning a small war against invisible pricing algorithms. Trap 7. The front of the plane is not always better. The front rows feel premium because they board early and exit first. But they also absorb the most chaos. Overhead bins slam constantly as passengers rush to secure space. Foot traffic never stops. Families with young children, passengers needing assistance, and those managing strollers are often seated near the front for logistical reasons. This creates noise, congestion, and interruptions. Meanwhile, the back of the plane often tells a different story. On lightly filled flights, empty seats cluster there. Noise drops after boarding finishes. Cabin crew movement decreases. If you do not have a tight connection, getting off 10 minutes earlier rarely improves your journey meaningfully. The front of the plane sells speed. The back often delivers peace. Comfort and convenience are not the same thing, and airlines rely on people confusing the two. Trap 6. The smoothest ride is not where you think. Most passengers assume the front of the plane is smoother. In reality, turbulence feels strongest at the nose and tail, where motion is amplified. The most stable point of the aircraft is over the wings, near the center of gravity. That is where pilots, engineers, and sensitive equipment are placed for a reason. The downside is obvious. The view is blocked. Wing noise is louder. But if turbulence causes anxiety, nausea, or discomfort, this trade-off is worth it. Many nervous flyers unknowingly choose the worst seats for their comfort because they prioritize views over physics. Aircraft movement is rotational, and the center moves least. Once you understand that, seat selection becomes a tool instead of a gamble. Trap 5. 3 seats that should come with warning labels. Certain seats look normal on booking screens but behave very differently in reality. Last row seats often do not recline and sit beside bathrooms where flushing sounds, odors, and constant foot traffic never stop. Pre-exit row seats may appear spacious but are locked upright by safety regulations, turning long flights into endurance tests. Bulkhead seats remove under-seat storage entirely and usually have fixed armrests, limiting comfort and flexibility. Airlines rarely highlight these drawbacks. The burden is placed on passengers to discover them later. Zooming in on the seat map, reading recent reviews, and understanding safety restrictions can prevent hours of regret. A seat is not just a number, it is an experience. Trap. 4. Same seat number does not mean same experience. Seat numbers create a false sense of consistency. Seat 12A on one aircraft can be quiet, spacious, and comfortable. Seat 12A on another may have no window, limited legroom, or intrusive equipment nearby. Airlines swap aircraft frequently due to maintenance, demand shifts, or operational disruptions. When that happens, your seat number remains the same, but everything else changes. Most passengers never recheck after booking. That is how comfort disappears without warning. Monitoring the aircraft type in the days leading up to departure allows you to reassess seat quality and make changes if possible. Seat comfort is tied to aircraft layout, not loyalty to a number. Trap 3. Basic economy seats are assigned to cause discomfort. Basic economy is not cheaper because it costs less to provide. It is cheaper because discomfort is built into the design. Seat assignment is delayed intentionally. Middle seats, back rows, and bathroom-adjacent seats are prioritized. Families are often split, not by accident, but because separation triggers emotional upgrades. Stress is part of the pricing strategy. The best chance to escape this trap is checking in exactly 24 hours before departure. Seats that were previously blocked for elite passengers or operational flexibility often reappear. Timing, not luck, determines whether you suffer or slide through. Trap 2. Old seat websites are often outdated. Aircraft interiors change frequently. Seats are added, removed, or reconfigured. Power outlets appear or disappear. Bulkheads shift. Relying on outdated seat maps leads to confident mistakes. Static websites cannot keep up with operational changes. Airline apps and recent passenger reviews are far more accurate. Crowdsourced data reflects real experiences, not theoretical layouts. 5 minutes of research can save hours of discomfort. Trust recent information over polished charts. Trap 1. Booking seats apart can get you a whole row. For couples or friends, booking window and aisle seats with the middle empty increases the odds that no one selects it. Many travelers avoid middle seats at all costs. If someone does book it, offering the aisle or window is almost always accepted. Very few people refuse a better seat. This strategy does not work on full flights, but on moderately loaded routes, it can turn economy into a private row. Airlines dislike it because it disrupts seat monetization. That is precisely why it remains effective. Here's the real takeaway. Seat choice isn't preference anymore, it's strategy. Airlines make money when you choose fast, emotional, and familiar. You win when you slow down, read the system, and book with intent. Now I want to hear from you. Which seat do you still trust the most? And after watching this, would you choose it again? Say it in the comments. That conversation is where most travelers realize they've been playing the wrong game. And if you want to keep flying comfortably while everyone else keeps guessing, subscribe. Because in modern air travel, comfort isn't upgraded. It's earned by the people who understand how the system actually works.